Last winter, my neighbor Tom spent over $2,000 on tactical survival gear, night vision goggles, military-grade water filters, the works. Meanwhile, I walked into a dollar store with 50 bucks and walked out with 11 items that could legitimately save my life in the next major crisis. The kicker? When the power went out for 5 days during that ice storm, guess who was comfortable, well-fed, and actually helping others? Not the guy with the fancy gear collecting dust in his garage. Listen up, because what I'm about to share could be the difference between thriving and barely surviving when things go south. I've been prepping since 2012, and I've learned something critical that most people completely miss. Survival isn't about having the most expensive equipment. Trust me on this one. It's about understanding which everyday products become absolute game changers when everything goes sideways. And you know what? Most preppers are doing it completely wrong. Today, I'm sharing 11 surprising items that emergency responders quietly stockpile, that disaster survivors swear by, and that most people walk past every single day without realizing they're looking at survival gold. Number 7 isn't just unexpected. It literally saved my friend's life during Hurricane Laura, and it cost less than a cup of coffee. Here's the best part. These aren't exotic military surplus finds or expensive specialty items you need to order online. You can grab most of these at your local grocery store or dollar store right now. Yeah, the same place you buy trash bags and dish soap. Before this video ends, you'll understand exactly why each one deserves a permanent spot in your emergency kit. I'm talking real-world tested, crisis-proven items that actually work when your life depends on it. Stick around because I'll also reveal a shopping strategy at the end that lets you build a complete emergency kit for under $100. The same kit that would cost you thousands if you followed mainstream prepper advice. Let's dive in, and trust me, you'll never look at your local dollar store the same way again. Number 1, raw, unfiltered honey. This one is absolutely fascinating from both a survival and a science perspective. Here's something that'll blow your mind. Archaeologists have found 3,000-year-old jars of honey in Egyptian tombs that are still perfectly edible today. Not spoiled, not weird, completely fresh and safe to eat. Honey literally never expires when stored properly. The chemistry is remarkable. Honey has incredibly low moisture content, high acidity, and it naturally produces small amounts of hydrogen peroxide. This combination creates an environment where bacteria and mold simply cannot survive. In a world obsessed with expiration dates, honey just laughs at the concept of going bad. But here's where it gets really interesting for survival situations. Modern medical research confirms what ancient civilizations figured out thousands of years ago. Honey is a legitimate medical powerhouse. Applied directly to cuts, burns, or infected wounds, raw honey acts as a natural antibiotic. It pulls moisture away from wounds through osmosis, suffocates harmful bacteria, and creates a protective barrier that promotes faster healing. I learned this firsthand during a camping accident in 2017. I sliced my hand pretty badly on a sharp rock, and by the time I got back to camp, I could see early signs of infection starting. No first aid supplies with antibiotic ointment, but I had a jar of raw honey. I cleaned the wound as best I could with purified water, applied honey generously, and wrapped it. Within 24 hours, the redness and swelling had noticeably decreased. Within a week, it was completely healed without any complications. That experience turned me into a honey believer for life. The energy factor during emergencies is equally crucial. When your body is under extreme stress, your brain can consume up to 25% more glucose than normal. Honey provides pure immediate fuel in the form of glucose and fructose that hit your bloodstream within minutes. This isn't just about physical energy. Mental clarity during a crisis can literally mean the difference between smart decisions and deadly mistakes. That mental edge could save your life. Here's something most preppers completely miss. During prolonged emergencies, morale becomes absolutely critical to survival. I've talked to dozens of people who live through extended disasters, and they all say the same thing. The psychological wear is often harder than the physical challenges. A small taste of sweetness, whether it's in bitter herbal tea or eaten straight from the jar, provides comfort that keeps you mentally strong. When everything feels hopeless, that moment of familiar pleasure reminds you what you're fighting to preserve. The key is choosing raw, unfiltered honey over that processed stuff in plastic bear bottles. Raw honey retains all the enzymes, antioxidants, and medicinal compounds that make it extraordinary. Yes, it costs more upfront, usually $10 to $15 per jar versus $3 or $4 for processed honey. But we're talking about medicine that never expires and energy that never fails. Store it in sealed glass jars in a cool, dry place. Even if it crystallizes over time, gentle warming returns it to liquid form without destroying its beneficial properties. By the way, because I know how overwhelming prepping can feel, especially when you're just starting out or trying to build food security on a tight budget, I put together something that I think you'll find genuinely helpful. It's a completely free guide that shows you exactly how to turn $50 into a 90-day food supply for when life gets unpredictable. This isn't theory or fluff. It's the actual shopping list I've tested with specific brands and prices, 37 essential items most people never think to stockpile, and the simple storage strategies that work even in small apartments. You'll get emergency meal plans you can make with zero cooking fuel. The one gas station snack that's perfect for bartering, and step-by-step instructions for scaling from 1 week to 3 months with total confidence. Everything's designed to build your family's food security and peace of mind without needing experience or a huge budget. It's all yours completely free. I'll drop the link in the description and pin it in the comments. Just let me know where to send it, and you'll have it in your inbox in minutes. Now, let's get back to these surprisingly powerful survival items. Number 2, tea tree oil. While everyone fights over expensive antibiotics and first aid supplies during emergencies, this $12 bottle contains medical-grade solutions for dozens of health problems. Tea tree oil's antimicrobial properties are so powerful that hospitals now use pharmaceutical-grade versions for treating antibiotic-resistant infections. The concentrated natural compounds, primarily terpenferol, destroy bacteria, fungi, and viruses more effectively than many synthetic alternatives. And unlike antibiotic creams that expire and lose potency, tea tree oil maintains effectiveness indefinitely when stored properly in dark glass bottles. During skin emergencies, tea tree oil becomes invaluable. Cuts, scrapes, insect bites, and fungal infections respond remarkably to diluted applications. I keep a small bottle in my first aid kit and have used it countless times for minor injuries that could become infected without proper treatment. The respiratory applications matter during poor air quality events. Adding a few drops to hot water creates steam inhalations that clear congested sinuses and soothe irritated airways. When wildfires or dust storms compromise air quality and you're stuck indoors, this natural remedy provides relief without requiring specialized equipment. Dental emergencies become manageable with tea tree oil solutions. Toothaches, gum infections, and mouth sores respond to careful applications of diluted oil. When professional dental care isn't available, this natural antiseptic can prevent minor issues from becoming serious infections that compromise your overall health. The antifungal properties excel in humid emergency conditions. Athlete's foot, nail fungus, and other moisture-related infections can spread rapidly in cramped quarters during extended emergencies when hygiene becomes challenging. Tea tree oil prevents and treats these conditions effectively. Household disinfection becomes possible during water shortages. Tea tree oil solutions clean surfaces without requiring extensive rinsing, making it ideal when water conservation is critical. The antimicrobial action continues working after application, providing longer-lasting protection than alcohol-based cleaners that evaporate quickly. Mental health benefits emerge from aromatherapy applications. The distinctive scent has proven stress-reducing properties, helping maintain psychological resilience during prolonged difficult situations. Small comforts, like familiar pleasant aromas, can significantly impact morale when everything feels overwhelming. Quality sourcing matters critically here. Pure therapeutic-grade tea tree oil from Australian Manuka alternogia provides maximum medicinal value. Cheaper synthetic versions or oils from other plant species lack the beneficial compound concentrations that make real tea tree oil effective. Safety requires proper dilution for skin applications. Typically, 1 to 2 drops per tablespoon of carrier oil like coconut or olive oil. Never apply undiluted tea tree oil directly to skin, and always test small areas first to check for sensitivity reactions. Storage in dark glass bottles away from heat and direct sunlight preserves potency for years. Unlike most natural remedies that degrade quickly, properly stored tea tree oil maintains therapeutic value indefinitely. For around $12, you're acquiring a complete natural pharmacy. Number 3, heavy-duty aluminum foil. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Foil? Really? Stay with me here because this stuff is basically survival duct tape on steroids. I learned this lesson the hard way during a winter blackout back in 2014. My wood stove was burning through firewood way too fast, and I was genuinely worried about running out before power came back. Then I remembered something an old-timer had shown me at a prepper meetup. I grabbed 2 cardboard panels, covered them completely with heavy-duty aluminum foil, shiny side out, and positioned them behind my stove, angled slightly forward. The difference was immediate and dramatic. That stove went from barely heating one room to warming my entire downstairs. The physics are simple, but brilliant. Aluminum foil reflects up to 97% of radiant heat. Instead of all that warmth disappearing into the wall behind your heat source, you're bouncing it back into your living space. During that blackout, this trick probably extended my firewood supply by a week, maybe more. But heat reflection is just the beginning with foil. During hurricane season in 2022, a buddy of mine lost cell service when towers got overwhelmed. He shaped a large sheet of heavy-duty foil into a shallow parabolic dish, held it behind his phone, and suddenly he could send texts that were failing seconds before. The foil was focusing those weak radio signals just enough to punch through to the nearest tower. Search and rescue teams actually recommend this technique because it works surprisingly well in spotty coverage situations. The cooking applications during power outages are honestly incredible. You can create makeshift ovens, steam packets, even solar cookers with nothing but foil and some basic materials. Last summer, I tested a solar oven designed using just a cardboard box lined with foil. It reached temperatures over 200 degree F, hot enough to cook chicken safely and pasteurize questionable water. No fuel needed, completely passive, and it worked better than I expected. Here's something most people never consider. Foil creates highly visible rescue signals. If you're stranded or need to attract attention from aircraft, a large sheet of foil waving in sunlight can be seen from miles away. It's lightweight, weatherproof, and way more visible than most signal mirrors. For water collection, shape foil into funnels or condensation trays overnight. Morning dew becomes drinking water. In aid climates or during water shortages, this passive collection method can generate surprising amounts of clean water without any effort on your part. The key is stocking the heavy-duty 18 and wide rules, not that thin stuff that tears if you look at it wrong. You want the heavyweight grade that can withstand actual use and reuse. At roughly $8 per roll, it's one of the best values in preparedness. Keep a roll in your car, one in your emergency kit, and one in your regular kitchen rotation. Number 4, unwaxed dental floss. This sounds completely ridiculous until you understand the physics and realize what's actually possible with this stuff. A single strand of quality dental floss can support up to 30 lbs of weight. That makes it stronger than most kitchen twine and it comes in a container that's smaller than a deck of cards and weighs basically nothing. I first learned about dental floss as a survival tool from a former Special Forces guy at a preparedness conference back in 2015. He carried 3 containers of it everywhere, and when I asked why, he just smiled and said, "You'd be amazed what this can do when you need it." He was absolutely right. The applications are genuinely mind-blowing once you start thinking beyond dental hygiene. Fishing is probably the most obvious survival use. Dental flush makes excellent fishing line for small to medium fish. The clear varieties are nearly invisible underwater, giving you a serious advantage. I've caught panfish and even small bass using nothing but dental floss, a bent safety pin, and a little patience. Combined with a makeshift hook from a soda can, tab, or paper grip, you've got a complete fishing system that weighs less than an ounce. For emergency repairs, dental floss absolutely destroys regular thread in terms of strength. Backpack straps, tent fabric, heavy-duty clothing repairs. It stitches through materials that would shred normal thread instantly. The wax coating on some types actually helps create water-resistant seams. I once repaired a backpack strap with dental floss during a 3-day hiking trip, and that repair held perfectly for another 2 years of heavy use. The cutting applications might surprise you. When you pull dental floss taut and saw it back and forth, it slices through soft materials more effectively than a dull life. Cheese, baked goods, zip ties, even duct tape. During a camping trip where I'd forgotten my knife, I used dental floss to portion cheese and cut through packaging. It worked better than I had any right to expect. Here's something that sounds extreme but is worth knowing. In true medical emergencies, when proper supplies aren't available, sterile dental floss can serve as surgical sutures. Wilderness medicine courses actually teach this because it works. Obviously, this isn't ideal and you'd only do it in genuinely life-threatening situations, but the knowledge could save a life someday. For shelter building, dental floss excels at lashing together framework materials. Its flexibility allows for secure knots that won't slip under tension, and the thin diameter means you're not weakening structural joints with bulky rope. You can build surprisingly strong frameworks using dental floss connections. Choose unwaxed floss for maximum versatility. It holds knots better and works more effectively for cutting and repairs. The wax varieties have their place, especially for fishing, but unwaxed gives you more options. Brands like Oral-B and Reach consistently test stronger than generic alternatives. One container costs under $3 and provides over 100 FT of emergency cordage. Keep one in your car, one in your emergency kit, and one in your everyday carry bag. When conventional tools fail, this humble bathroom item might be exactly what saves the day. Number 5. Baking soda. That plain orange box sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now contains enough practical chemistry to solve a dozen different emergency problems. Most people see baking soda as something for baking cookies or keeping the fridge from smelling weird. But this stuff is a legitimate survival powerhouse that 90% of preppers completely overlook. The medical applications are extraordinary. During high-stress situations, your body overproduces stomach acid, leading to painful gastric distress that can genuinely incapacitate you when you need to be functional. Half a teaspoon of baking soda dissolved in water provides almost instant relief. Emergency room doctors have used this trick for decades when commercial antacids aren't available. The chemical reaction neutralizes excess acid immediately, restoring your ability to think clearly and act decisively. Fire suppression is another critical capability. When baking soda hits grease fires, it releases carbon dioxide that smothers flames instantly. Unlike water, which spreads grease fires dangerously and makes everything worse, baking soda provides safe, effective suppression for small cooking fires. During power outages, when people resort to alternative cooking methods, kitchen fires spike dramatically. Having baking soda within arm's reach of your cooking area could prevent a small flare-up from becoming a disaster. Personal hygiene becomes surprisingly critical during extended emergencies. Baking soda functions as emergency toothpaste, deodorant, and antifungal treatment all-in-one. Mixed with small amounts of water, it creates an effective tooth cleaning paste that dentists confirm removes plaque more thoroughly than many commercial products. For odor control during close quarters emergencies, when showering is impossible, a light dusting of baking soda under arms or in shoes works remarkably well. When you can't shower for days, odor management becomes important for both morale and health. The pH balancing properties create life-saving solutions. Mixed with salt in proper proportions, baking soda creates emergency electrolyte replacement that prevents dangerous dehydration. The precise recipe is half a teaspoon baking soda, half a teaspoon salt, 4 cups clean water. It tastes absolutely terrible. I'm not going to lie, but it performs identical to medical-grade rehydration solutions costing 20 times more. Skin treatment applications are remarkable. Baking soda paste neutralizes insect stings, poison ivy reactions, and minor burns. The alkaline nature counteracts acidic toxins, providing relief when medical supplies aren't available. I've used this for bee stings more times than I can count, and it works faster than most over-the-counter treatments. For cleaning when water is scarce, baking soda's mild abrasive action cuts through grease and grime without requiring extensive rinsing. During California's serious drought a few years back, families discovered they could clean entire kitchens using damp cloths and baking soda with less than a cup of water total. Storage matters here. The latest trend among serious preppers involves vacuum sealing baking soda in meal-sized portions. This extends shelf life from about 6 months to over 3 years while dramatically reducing storage space. At under $5 for a 5 lb bag, baking soda delivers incredible return on investment. Is literally chemistry you can afford with applications that could save your life when conventional solutions aren't available. Number 6. Waterproof matches and a quality lighter. This seems obvious, but here's what most people miss. Regular matches become useless when wet, and standard lighters fail in cold temperatures or high altitude. Waterproof matches and a quality windproof lighter are fundamentally different tools that work when everything else fails. I learned this lesson during a camping trip in 2016 when unexpected rains soaked everything in my pack, including my regular matches. I was cold, getting colder, and suddenly realized I had no reliable way to start a fire. That's a genuinely dangerous situation. Since then, I never go anywhere without waterproof matches and a quality lighter as backup. Waterproof matches from brands like UCO or Coghlan's will light even after complete water submersion. They strike reliably in wet conditions, high winds, and extreme cold. The striking surface is built into the waterproof container, so you're never searching for something to strike them on. A quality windproof lighter like a Zippo or a butane torch lighter provides redundancy. Zippos work in conditions that kill disposable lighters, and they're refillable, so you're not dependent on finding replacements. Butane torch lighters work at altitude and in wind conditions that make regular flame lighters useless. Fire provides warmth, water purification, cooking capability, psychological comfort, and signal capability. It's arguably the single most important survival tool. Redundant fire starting methods aren't paranoid. They're essential insurance against the most fundamental survival need. Store your waterproof matches in your emergency kit. Keep a quality lighter in your everyday carry and maintain a backup of each in your vehicle. Total investment is maybe $20 for complete redundancy across multiple fire starting methods. Number 7, heavy-duty duct tape. Every emergency responder carries duct tape. Every single one. And once you understand why, you'll never look at it the same way again. During Hurricane Ian, stories emerged of homeowners using duct tape to hold shattered windows together throughout the entire storm. One family documented their front window completely crisscrossed with duct tape reinforced with plastic sheeting, and it prevented water entry while neighbors' unprotected homes flooded within minutes. The structural applications go far beyond simple repairs. Duct tape can reinforce failing roof sections temporarily. seal broken pipes until proper repairs are possible, and create emergency patches for water containers. Its waterproof adhesive maintains bond strength even when fully submerged, making it ideal for urgent fixes when you need to stop water intrusion immediately. In medical emergencies, duct tape transforms into sophisticated treatment tools. It creates effective splints for broken bones, secure bandages for severe cuts, makeshift slings for arm injuries, and blister protection during long evacuation walks. Hikers have used these techniques for years. Some wrap tape around their water bottle specifically, so they always have it available for emergency medical situations. The security applications matter more than most people realize. During earthquakes or aftershocks, cabinet doors can burst open, sending sharp objects and broken glass flying everywhere. Duct tape securely holds these doors closed, preventing injuries. It also reinforces door locks temporarily if you need to evacuate, deterring opportunistic break-ins while you're gone. For shelter improvements, duct tape excels at sealing gaps that let in wind, rain, or insects during power outages. Maintaining comfortable shelter temperature becomes critical for conserving energy and preventing hypothermia in winter or heat exhaustion in summer. Strategic taping of gaps and cracks can dramatically improve your shelter's thermal efficiency. Water procurement becomes possible through creative duct tape engineering. At a preparedness expo in 2023, demonstrators showed how damaged tarps and basic coat hangers could become functional water collection buckets using only duct tape construction. The resulting containers held 3 gallons without leaking, potentially keeping families hydrated during boil water notices or contaminated water events. The improvisation factor sets duct tape apart from specialized tools. It adapts to whatever situation you face, providing solutions that rigid single-purpose tools simply can't match. When everything around you feels unpredictable and chaotic, duct tape offers a sense of control through pure versatility. Quality matters significantly here. Heavy-duty varieties withstand much more stress than standard grades, and aggressive adhesive formulations maintain bonding strength in extreme temperatures and wet conditions. Don't cheap out on dollar store duct tape. Spend the extra $2 or $3 for quality brands like Gorilla Tape or 3M. Storage tip that I learned from a wildland firefighter. Wrap several feet of duct tape around your flashlights, water bottles, or other emergency gear. This way, you always have tape immediately available without carrying separate rolls, and it doesn't add noticeable weight or bulk to your kit. At $5 per roll, duct tape might become the MVP of your entire emergency strategy. Number 8, a vacuum sealer. Now, stay with me here because I know this seems like a kitchen convenience item, not survival gear, but that vacuum sealer collecting dust in your cabinet might actually be the most underrated survival tool you own. During Hurricane Ian in 2022, families who owned vacuum sealers reported something remarkable. Their food lasted 5 times longer than traditional storage methods during the 2 recovery period. One family saved over $600 worth of meat alone, while neighbors threw out hundreds of dollars of spoiled groceries. The science is straightforward. Vacuum sealing removes oxygen, which is the primary culprit in food spoilage. Bacteria need oxygen to multiply. Remove it, and food preservation extends dramatically, even without refrigeration for certain foods. But the survival applications extend far beyond just food. Document protection becomes absolutely critical during floods, storms, or evacuations. Insurance policies, medical records, identification documents, birth certificates, family photos. Vacuum seal them, and they survive complete water immersion. A FEMA worker I talked to said that water damage destroys more critical personal documents than fire, making this protection genuinely invaluable. The waterproofing applications extend to electronics, medications, matches, spare batteries, and emergency cash. During camping tests I ran last year, vacuum use sealed phones and wallets stayed completely dry during unexpected rainstorms, while unprotected electronics suffered expensive water damage. Space efficiency matters tremendously for emergency storage. Vacuum-sealed supplies occupy about 40% less space than traditional storage methods. Your 3-month emergency food supply suddenly fits in a closet instead of requiring an entire room. For people living in apartments or homes with limited storage space, this efficiency gain is massive. The newer models address power outage concerns directly. Battery-powered vacuum sealers can operate during blackouts, and some models run efficiently on portable power banks. The FoodSaver PowerVac can seal around 50 packages on a single charge, perfect for continued food preservation during extended outages. Long-term medication storage becomes possible with vacuum sealing. Prescription drugs maintain potency longer when protected from air and moisture. For families managing chronic conditions like diabetes or heart disease, this could mean the difference between having life-saving medications available and going without during supply chain disruptions. Emergency cash and valuable storage provide security during evacuations. Vacuum-sealed currency, jewelry, and important small items remain protected and portable when you need to leave quickly. Everything stays organized, waterproof, and easy to grab. The psychological benefits matter during stressful situations. Having fresh, appealing food available maintains morale and provides comfort when everything else feels uncertain. Good nutrition also supports clear thinking and physical resilience during demanding circumstances. For around $75,000, you're acquiring a tool that preserves food, protects valuables, maximizes storage space, and maintains functionality during power outages. Number 9, a hand crank emergency radio. When Hurricane Ian knocked out power to 2.6 million Florida residents, most people lost all connection to the outside world. No phone service, no internet, no way to know what was happening beyond their immediate surroundings, except for the smart ones who own this overlooked essential. The shocking reality is that only 12% of Americans include radios in their emergency kits. That's a potentially deadly oversight. During the California wildfires in recent years, cellular networks crashed under massive demand and physical damage to cell towers. Hand crank radio owners were the only ones receiving evacuation route updates in real time. One woman avoided a road that became engulfed in flames just 30 minutes after she heard the warning broadcast. She said simply, "That radio saved my life." The latest models go way beyond simple radio functionality. The Midland ER310 doubles as a power bank that can charge your phone with just 6 minutes of cranking. During true emergencies, that phone connection to family members might mean absolutely everything. Weather alert systems have evolved dramatically in recent years. The National Weather Service now provides hyperlocal warnings specific to your exact county. These radios automatically broadcast alerts about tornadoes, flash floods, chemical spills, and other immediate threats, even when you're sleeping. That advanced warning could provide the crucial minutes needed to reach safety, instead of being caught completely off guard. The independence factor becomes critical when everything else fails. While others depend on failing infrastructure and overwhelmed networks, hand crank radios operate completely off-grid. 1 minute of cranking provides about 15 minutes of critical information. Most models include solar panels for passive charging during daylight hours, so you don't even need to crank if there's sun available. Information advantage during disasters often determines survival outcomes. Knowing which roads remain open, where emergency shelters are operating, when utility crews expect power restoration. This intelligence helps you make informed decisions instead of dangerous guesses based on incomplete information. The psychological benefits honestly shouldn't be underestimated during isolation and uncertainty. Hearing human voices and current information provides enormous comfort. It reminds you that the wider world continues functioning and help is actively coming. That hope matters more than most people realize. Battery backup systems provide redundancy when manual cranking isn't practical. But the beautiful aspect of these radios is that batteries become optional rather than essential. Even complete battery failure doesn't render the device useless. You can always crank it, Signal reception often exceeds smartphone capabilities during network overload situations. Radio broadcasts continue functioning when cellular systems become overwhelmed by demand, providing reliable information when digital communications completely fail. At around 35 of dozens, emergency radios represent incredible insurance against information blackouts. When conventional communications fail, this simple device provides the critical intelligence needed to navigate safely through dangerous situations. Don't skip this one. Number 10, Mylar emergency blankets. These crinkly metallic sheets might look like cheap science fiction props, but they contain NASA-developed technology that could save your life for less than $2 per blanket. I'm completely serious. This is space-age survival technology available for pocket change. The physics are remarkable. Mylar reflects up to 90% of your body heat back to you while weighing less than 3.0. That means a blanket smaller than a paperback book can prevent hypothermia in freezing conditions. During the 2021 Texas freeze, when millions lost power, families without heat discovered these blankets could maintain survivable temperatures even when indoor temperatures dropped below freezing. The signaling applications prove equally valuable. The highly reflective surface creates mirror-like signals visible from aircraft miles away. Search and rescue teams specifically look for these reflective flashes during aerial searches because they're so distinctive. In emergency situations, being visible to rescuers can mean the difference between quick rescue and prolonged dangerous exposure. Heat deflection during extreme summer temperatures works in reverse. Position the reflective side facing outward and it reflects solar radiation away, keeping you cooler in hot conditions. Number 11, a quality multi-tool. I saved this for last because it represents the ultimate force multiplier in emergency situations. A good multi-tool consolidates pliers, wire cutters, knives, screwdrivers, can openers, and a dozen other functions into a single pocket-sized package. During emergencies, you rarely have access to a full toolbox, but with a quality multi-tool like a Leatherman Wave or Victoronic Swiss tool, you have most essential tools immediately available. I've used mine to repair vehicles, open stuck doors, cut through obstacles, prepare food, perform first aid, and solve dozens of unexpected problems. The key is quality. Cheap multi-tools break when you need the most. Invest in reputable brands that offer lifetime warranties. Yes, you'll spend $60 to $100 instead of $15, but you're buying a tool that could save your life and will definitely solve countless problems over decades of use. Keep your multi-tool on your person or in your everyday bag. Emergency tools don't help if they're sitting at home when crisis strikes. The best survival tool is the one you have with you when you need it. These 11 items represent a complete survival system hiding in plain sight. Heavy-duty aluminum foil, unwaxed dental floss, raw honey, baking soda, duct tape, a hand crank radio, tea tree oil, Mylar emergency blankets, waterproof matches with a quality lighter, and a quality multi-tool. You can acquire this entire arsenal for under $200 total. The key insight here is powerful. Effective preparedness doesn't require expensive specialty equipment or military training. It requires recognizing extraordinary potential in ordinary objects and understanding how to use them when conventional solutions aren't available. I've been prepping since 2012, and I've seen people spend thousands on gear they don't understand while ignoring simple tools that actually work. Don't make that mistake. Start with these 11 items. Learn them. Test them. Understand their capabilities intimately. That knowledge becomes the foundation of genuine preparedness. Remember, being prepared isn't about fear or paranoia. It's about confidence and responsibility. When you know you have the tools and knowledge to handle unexpected situations, you approach life with greater peace of mind. You're not worried about what might happen because you've prepared for realistic scenarios. Take action this week. Pick 3 or 4 items from this list and add them to your emergency supplies. Test them during your next camping trip or even during a planned practice scenario. Experience firsthand how these simple tools transform challenging situations into manageable ones. And hey, if you haven't grabbed that free guide yet, the link is right below in the description and pinned in the comments. It's the complete $50 90-day food supply plan with the exact shopping list, storage strategies, and emergency meal plans. Everything you need to build real food security without spending a fortune or needing a bunch of experience completely free. Just let me know where to send it. Your future self will absolutely thank you for taking action today. Sometimes the smallest preparations make the biggest difference when it matters most. If this information could help someone you care about, share this video with them. And if you found real value here, hit that subscribe button so you catch my upcoming video on the critical mistakes most people make when storing emergency water. Trust me, you're probably making at least 2 of them without realizing it. Stay safe, stay prepared, and remember, the best survival tool is knowledge, and knowledge weighs nothing. And I'll see you in the next one. Yath.